Hi, my name is Linda Cirulli-Burton, and welcome to this channel named Above the Battleground, ACIM. So recently I saw a movie called Warrior. It's from 2011. It stars a young Tom Hardy playing the part of Tommy, his brother Brendan played by Joel Edgerton, and the father Nick Nolte. Now, I never saw the movie back in the day, but I can tell you that apparently it was waiting for me now because my response to it was so visceral, so insane that I knew, whoa, there is something here that's needing to come up. I have to look at. And then what happened was that I started to notice all this stuff that connected into the movie regarding victims and victimizers. I noticed it all around me. And then I furthered my studies, my deep grasping, and I learned truly that victims and victimizers, it's a core of what we would call the dark mind. Above the Battleground is based on the teachings of a spiritual self-study path known as A Course in Miracles. I've been a student of A Course in Miracles for many years, but it's only been over the last couple that I have felt truly compelled to devote my time to practicing and applying its truth. And I created these videos so that I could help the material go in deeper and deeper within me and maybe be of some benefit to you on your own spiritual path, which may well be A Course in Miracles. One of the things I've noticed is that everyone seems to feel guilty about something. So it might look different, the forms might look different, but the content is always the same. It's guilty. And A Course in Miracles would have us know that these episodes of guilt are echoes of the great ontological guilt that we suffer as the Son of God, who believes that the Son of God has left God the Father in order to usurp the power of God, to be creative in its own right, beholden to no one. But the intriguing thing about it is that there is a perception on the part of the Son of God, which includes all of us, that we killed God. We did something so horrible that God the Avenger will get us. And it's interesting because you hear so many phrases out there. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Oh, this happiness, this can't last because, blah, 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 blah. Everyone seems to be so afraid. And for me, that concept of ontological guilt really makes a lot of sense. Now, I need to repeat that A Course in Miracles is not talking to me as Linda, a discrete identity, Linda. No, indeed, it is talking to the decision maker in my mind. Now, I believe that I'm in a body, so I'm going to do and say things, or not do or not say things. But it's very important to understand that this is a mind training, and that instead, I have to make that decision to go into my right mind, where in fact it is to be understood that I have never, never left God. I am being spoken to as mind. Now, behavior, whatever happens, when I go into my mind of spirit, into my mind of oneness in pure love, when I go there and I settle in there, if there's something that I should do or say, some way I should behave, I will know and I will do what is right for that circumstance, for that event, for that particular individual. Or maybe, and I have to say this, there would be nothing that I would do or say. So it's all kind of like woven together. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this concept of guilt and how it gets played out in the victimization cycle, which is so near and dear to the ego mind that created the brain, that created the body, that creates everything that you and I see. How the cycle of victimization is a dominant theme to keep us locked inside our bodies, whether we're talking physical or psychological. The blame game in the ego's world is really fascinating to watch because absolutely anything can be used. Fate can be used, other people can be used, circumstances over which we have no control. That man that was smoking marijuana and ran the red light that hit the side of my car. My body is breaking down. How could it do this to me? And by the way, I think I should say, because this is kind of funny. So I'm being treated for my eye. Now I'm being treated for my mouth. And then my foot fell asleep and I fell on my foot and broke a couple bones. So my God, I just am in the mood to blame my body. But anyway, there's always something that can be used. And to be honest with you, that whole thing of removing my own guilt and putting it out there, blaming this or blaming that. And then what happens is I'm an innocent. You are the victimizer. I am pure. And it's what's I found particularly interesting in my studies, of course, is that the abuser also wants to be the victim. And that means that I would not have turned out like this if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for the way I was raised. So everybody wants to be innocent. Now, what a lot of us don't understand is that if we are operating with guilt in our mind, which of course the miracle says that we are, we pull in from other people. That seems good. But then instead we go for ourselves because the self-hatred can be absolutely so profound. Now, the ego world loves this. And if you pay attention, you're going to see that everybody wants to be a victim of the world, including countries. They're always putting out propaganda. Now we're going to do this because that country did that, and then you talk to that country, and that country says, "Well, that country did that." I mean, in a while, you're like a mess. You cannot figure any of it out because it's a dance. It's a dance, and everybody is trying to bolster their own side with innocence. And the ego world is loaded up with kill or be killed, one or the other. To win, you must lose. So when you watch the dynamics, it really is phenomenal. This is what I want to suggest to you and to me, that it's never, ever what it looks like. It never is. If, in fact, the ontological guilt that we have with separation and pain being truly synonymous, that we never left God the Father. We are still his beloved Son. We are the Christ. Now, the ego mind does not want us to remember. The ego mind wants us to stay stuck in the psychological and physical bodies. And to be honest with you, the victimizer victimization schedule is absolutely the best to keep us rooted. And so the ego wants us not to realize that we have a decision maker. And that decision maker, if we can only realize that we have this free will to go to the decision maker and choose again. When I choose again, I can see you and I are the same. It's not even equal. We are the same. I watch you do your dance while I am doing my dance, and we are the same. Only what a lot of us forget is the same is the Son of God, the collective Son of God who never left his Father. Now, when I can go there and hold the space in my mind that you too have a decision maker, I can't compel you or force you. Jesus is very clear about this. I will stand here as the symbol of what it would be for you to choose the mind of spirit. Now, once again, I feel like I need to say that this is mind training. It is not what we will do behaviorally. I can't tell you what we would do behaviorally. When someone is doing something to you, there is a way to stand up for yourself with boundaries and yet with kindness, without damnation. And so I don't know what you or I would do behaviorally, but I can say that I do know that if we go into the mind of spirit, we'll be led to do or say something or not to do or say something, but it'll be perfect. So thank you. I do understand that the cycle of victim and victimizer, and you and I change positions and go around until we get it. The guilt and pain that seem to be motivating us in this 3D world, in this world that we created after we left God. Well, I have to say that there's a decision that we can make to choose another world where we can choose to pull out of that dance, and make different choices. So thank you so much for being with me, and I look forward to sharing more with you.